Wipro, especially the buyback announcement, it's coming at 9,500 crore, which is fairly in line with what most of the analysts were working with. Like few of the analysts were working with this number. 9,500 crore is the buyback at a buyback price of 400 rupees per share. This is what we are picking up from the agencies right now. In fact, if you look at Wipro, the last two buybacks were in the range of 10,500 to 11,000 crore, and I would say that this buyback amount of 9,500 crore is fairly in line with our estimates as well overall. If you're looking at the consolidated revenue for Wipro, well, on the consolidated front, 1,505 crore is the revenue that we are seeing, which is largely in line with what we were expecting. Consolidated PAT of 2,484 crore is again largely in line with what we were expecting. So if you look at our own expectations, we were working with a consolidated PAT of 2,400 crore, and now it's coming at 2,484 crore. Even in terms of the IT services, there's not much of a difference versus what we were expecting. IT services revenue has come in at 147.68 crore, which is slightly above our expectation, around 1%. But broadly, I guess the numbers seem to be fairly in line, I would say. Again, if you look at the kind of details, I'm still trying to pull up more details from the press release. The numbers on the face of it look okay. Let me just go through a few numbers in detail and again connect here.
Yeah, I'm going to just come back to you, Poonam, in just a second. I just want to quickly bring up that buyback figure, because at 9,500 crore rupees, which is at 400 rupees per share, Amit Chandra, if I could come to you, does it fall short of expectations? Because the market was working with a 13,000 crore rupee figure.
The buyback number, the absolute number is a bit lower than expectation. So if you see the absolute number, it is 16% of the net worth, around 32% of cash, and 4.2% of equity. So that is less than what they have done in the past. So in the past, they have done around 5 to 5.5% of the equity that they have bought back. And considering that they had around $4 billion of cash, around 30,000 crores of net cash, the 9,500 crore number is a bit lower than expectation. We were expecting something in the range of 12,500 crores.
Aniket, on the earnings front, though, do the numbers match up with your expectations?
See, I think on earnings front, revenues are in line with my numbers, okay, a bit higher than my number. I was also expecting IT services EBIT margin to be at 19.1%, and I think it came in line with that. Guidance is better than what I was estimating. So I was estimating 0 to 2% of guidance in next quarter, and it came, I think, at 1.5 to 3.5% for the next quarter. So just guidance is a bit as of now, if I look at the number from top line basis.
I'm just going to quickly some more numbers though. Amit, in the meantime, what's been your first take on the earnings which are coming out while we're still trying to digest the numbers?
Yeah, so absolutely the top line is ahead of the expectations. The margins is in line, and the guidance is also ahead of what I was expecting. I was expecting something around 1 to 2%, but clearly Wipro is also seeing a comeback in terms of the growth rates where they have struggled in the past versus in the tier 1 pack, Wipro was struggling because of the BFSI, the higher ENU exposure, and all those the legacy reasons that Wipro was facing. But now with the new CEO, new management team, I think Street is building in acceleration in the revenue growth, and with better guidance, I think things are coming back on track. They are winning deals. And I think we'll have to watch out whether it is sustainable, what are the factors which are actually driving it and how sustainable it is in the long run. So certainly it is in the positive direction. The growth coming back is a healthy sign for Wipro, and if you see, in line with the rally that the Wipro has seen in the past 1 month, that shows the optimism that is being baked into the numbers, because in terms of valuations also, Wipro is trading at like peak valuations.
Yeah, it is. In fact, talking about the management commentary, there's a quote coming in from the CEO and MD, Thierry Delaporte, and he's saying that we had an excellent growth in terms of revenues as well as expansion of margins and robust cash generation in the quarter gone by. He's saying that I'm very excited about the opportunities that are ahead of us and encouraged by the acceleration in business momentum we've seen this quarter. Our strategy, he goes on to say, is to focus on growth in prioritized sectors and markets led by vertical solutions offerings. Poonam is back with us. Poonam, some more numbers that you're picking up?
Oh yes, Aisha, let's look at the IT services. It seems the entire IT services segment has really done well for Wipro. IT services revenue in constant currency terms, it has increased by 2% quarter on quarter, Aisha. And you know that we were working with a number of 1.7%. In fact, the dollar revenue growth also for the IT services segment has been at 3.7% quarter on quarter. We were working with revenue growth of IT services at 2.4%. So I would say on the IT services front, it's a good number. IT services EBIT margin has been at 19.2%, while the growth or the expansion in margins is at 20 bips on a sequential basis. It's slightly lower than what we were expecting. So 19.6% is what we were expecting in terms of the EBIT margin. EBIT margin now for IT services has come in at 19.2%. On the overall income front, also if you look at the numbers, it's at 2470 crore there in terms of the profitability number. In fact, as I said, the operating cash flow also has been fairly good, 179% of the net income. CEO and MD states that we had an excellent quarter with growth in revenues, expansion of margins and robust cash generation. And I'm very excited about the opportunities that are ahead of us and encouraged by the acceleration in business momentum we have seen in this quarter. Our strategy is to focus on growth in prioritized sectors and markets led by vertical solution offerings. So good going, Aisha, so far in terms of the IT revenue front. Margins, although have expanded 20 bips, is slightly lower than our expectations. This is for the IT services. They're also, Aisha, telling about their outlook for the third quarter. They are giving the guidance for the third quarter. They state that we expect revenue for our IT services business to be in the range of $2,022 million to $2,062 million. This is translating into a sequential growth of 1.5% to 3.5% for the IT services. Do note that I had one of the analysts who was expecting the revenue growth guidance for the IT services in the range of 0 to 2%, and this guidance coming in from the management of 1.5% to 3.5% quarter on quarter for IT services seems to be good. So I guess we should be definitely keeping a note of this guidance, and we should be asking more in terms of how do the various analysts read into this guidance. They are also stating that Wipro has continued its deal momentum and they have won strong large deals, although I'm still checking out if there is any number in terms of the large deals, but so far the guidance on the IT services seems good.
At that, Aniket, let's get in closing comments from you. Looking at the numbers, the buyback quantum, a case for re-rating or a change at least of the target price, or no?
So see, if you look at the vertical-wise growth in Wipro, okay, so the growth is broad-based. The growth has been quite steady into BFSI also. BFSI posted a strong growth of 5.4%. Communication grew very strongly at 7.8%. Consumer business unit also grew very strongly at 5.6%. Manufacturing also grew at 5.5%. Healthcare also grew at 5%. So if you look at the growth, actually, the growth is completely broad-based in this quarter for Wipro. Okay, Secondly, if you look at the practices also, they have performed well in almost all the verticals over here. Okay. Going forward now, basically, if you look at if Wipro promises to maintain this EBIT margin, this IT services operating margin going forward also, so Street would be surely delighted with it. Okay. Now, see, I think there would be at least, so according to my estimates, number are, so I was expecting IT services CC growth at around 1.2%, and the growth came at 2%. So I think growth is a bit better than my estimates. Okay. So I think my around 2 to 3% there would be increase in my EPS estimate for FY21 as of now.
Amit, what about you? A revision in the price target, or have you already done that?
Yeah. So already, massive part of re-rating in terms of multiples has already been achieved in Wipro. So, still there is room, because if you see the multiples for TCS, Infosys, and if you compare Wipro multiples, and Wipro always traded at a discount of, say, around 30%. Okay. So right now also the, discount is in that range only, 25 to 30%. So maybe with better performance and the growth rates getting more broad-based, the differential can come down a bit. Okay. And in terms of the verticals, if you see, most of the verticals have started to contribute. And for Wipro, the problem was that out of the total portfolio, 70% of the portfolio was already doing well, but 30% of the portfolio was facing some kind of a problem over many years. Okay. So if we see that the whole portfolio does well for Wipro, and the drag in legacy that they were seeing over the last few years, if that slows down, then I think there will be a clear acceleration of growth rates. And all other parameters apart from growth rate, Wipro has been pretty steady. Maybe it cash generation, margins, they are at par with the other large IT players. Okay, so I think traction in the top line, traction in the growth rate will have impact on the valuations over the longer term. And obviously the buyback thing. Okay, so they have been doing. I think this is the fourth buyback in the last 5 years. I think. Yeah, so they have been maintaining that buyback like momentum, and the buyback. So you see, for every buyback, the buyback price has been the peak price for Wipro. Okay, and we have seen that over the last 3 buybacks. But this time it was because there was no growth in the company. But with the growth in with the return in growth, I think this time it can actually cross that and sustain above it. Yeah.
Aniket as well as Amit, both of you, thank you so much for taking the time out and joining in to analyze Wipro's numbers. We're going to wind up then in this edition of Closing Trades. We had an extended one analyzing Wipro's earnings, which the markets are going to react to come tomorrow.